Shabbat Shalom. Our sages taught this story. On Adam and Eve's first day on earth, they noticed something peculiar as the day went on. The colors of the sky, maintaining a lovely shade of blue all day, started to change. At first, they thought it was their imagination, but no. As time went on, they saw definitive change there. Colors that they did not realize the sky could hold appeared on the horizon. There were pinks and purples, constantly shifting, getting brighter, and then darker and darker. Adam and Eve's hearts began to beat faster with fear and anxiety. What was happening? They were finding it hard to see around them as darkness fell, until it was so dark that they could no longer see each other. Adam and Eve were in complete darkness, suddenly cold and quite terrified. What had they done? How had they angered God? How could they continue to live in this new reality? Adam and Eve fixated on these thoughts all night, convinced that the darkening sky was their punishment, and that this punishment was irreversible. Devastated and inconsolable, they almost didn't believe it when they saw the first glimpses of dawn. And then the day came. At times, we all experience darkness and doubt. The darkness of not knowing, the darkness of feeling misunderstood or ignored, the darkness of feeling that others' beliefs do not line up with our own, and we are alone. What keeps us in darkness? And how do we find our way out? In this week's Torah portion, we continue to read the story of the plagues. We read, "And God said to Moses, 'Stretch thy hand toward heaven, that there may be darkness over the land of Egypt, even darkness which may be felt.' And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt for 3 days. They saw not one another, neither could they get up from their place for 3 days. The darkness was so all-encompassing that it could be felt. It was a darkness that paralyzed and disoriented. It affected people on physical, emotional, and spiritual levels. Who among us has never experienced a deep sense of foreboding, of a night that never ends? As Shai Held suggests, what if meaninglessness and loneliness are simply all there is? We are also aware of profound links between physical darkness and existential darkness. As the days are shorter and the nights are longer, moods often shift, worries often mount, and hope often wanes. Judaism does not ask us to ignore the darkness and the sense of doom it might induce in us. On the contrary, it asks us to face them squarely and then ultimately to defy them. But how? We all experience tremendous hardship in the course of our lives. We may think of these experiences as the part of life we just need to get through, to rush through them as quickly as possible so we can return to our real lives. Yet, if we rush through these times, we are bypassing wide swaths of life. In fact, if we really could bypass painful moments of life, we would be essentially cutting the time that we have in life in half. And imagine a life filled only with goodness and blessing and light. It's impossible. That is just not what it is to be human. So how can we be present in all of the moments of our lives, even dark times, in a way that doesn't consume us and hurt us further? How can we find whatever nourishment there is in the darkness of soil? Perhaps it's in the understanding that we all experience darkness. We may even find new sources of strength, increased compassion for others and for ourselves. As a Hasidic master known as Even HaEzer taught, the greatest darkness is when a person does not see their fellow and does not participate in the distress of others. In Exodus, the ancient Egyptians did not see one another. They did not feel one another's distress. Their senses were dulled. Neither did any rise from his place. The greatest darkness is lack of compassion. It strips us of our humanity. We are not Adam and Eve enduring the world's first night. Although we are living through a dark night, we know that the sun always rises. We have seen ebbs and flows, ups and downs, joys and sorrows, a time of building and a time of devastation. The psalmist teaches, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. May we find our way out of darkness with renewed strength, able to be sources of light for others. Sapir Cohen spent 30 days memorizing the words of Psalm 27. On the 30th day, October 7th, she was taken hostage into Gaza by Hamas terrorists. She had begun memorizing the psalm because she intuited that she might need it. Perhaps something was brewing with her health. She could never have imagined that she would end up being held hostage in Gaza. Because she had memorized Psalm 27, the words provided a source of strength, helping her to endure the time in captivity. Psalm 27. God is my light and my help. Whom shall I fear? Look to Adonai, be strong and of good courage. Shabbat Shalom.